What is your American dream?
I'm hoping that people will realize that there's no such thing as race. We're all of one kind. I think the astronauts can explain it best that when they're in outer space, looking back at an amazing planet, and look back at that planet and say, on that planet, there are people, not African Americans, not black, not white, not even when it comes down to international relations. When all of them, China, Russia, everyone can really just appreciate the fact that we have a great gift, the gift of life. And let's not waste it fighting against each other. Let's work towards one accord and one race, one people, so that we can make our planet a better place to live.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. It is Monday, August 25th. My name is Brad Bernstein, and somewhere out in the universe it is August 24th. I'm already a day in advance. Hello, right. Yonathan, Yo-Yo. Everyone's going to be like, what? Wait, we haven't even reached August 25th. I jumped in my DeLorean, and now I'm back. How are you?
You're wearing your fortune teller hat.
I'm sorry?
You can see the future today.
I did, and I will tell you that what I saw was the same thing I saw today. So there it is. I don't know what that means. Yonathan and Vanessa, how are you guys doing? How was your weekend?
The weekend was cool.
Yeah.
It was just really hot. Really hot.
It's still hot.
Yeah.
It's still
I'm ready
hot.
for fall.
You ready for fall already? I'm
yes.
not. I'm
Absolutely.
not, because
yeah,
I think
me either. What are you
why
saying?
Would you be? We always want summer. I wish it was like this all the time. No.
Heck no. I'm so ready for fall fashion.
You're ready for fall
October.
fashion.
Like if it could just be August and October. My birthday's in the fall, so I love the fall.
Oh, so you like October?
I love October.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love October.
You see, my birthday's in September, so I wish it was always August. I don't want to get older. And I could be saying, wow, my birthday's right around the corner and be very excited. But I'd never get older.
Fall is so far away from my birthday, so it's like, I don't even want to think about it.
Let's say hello to the squad. Dionne Watson saying, hey, Elizabeth Francis, squad up. Lisa Bling-Rose, squad up. Violet Blackwood, squad up. Javelle Finnegan, Lisa Bling-Rose, Isila Enot saying squad up. Elizabeth Francis, how are you? Cordella, my dear, how are you? And who else we have? Dionne Reed, squad up. Jessica Leamy, Joel, Violet Blackwood, Christy Consali, and Shio Domain. Let's go over to YouTube. Let's see what's going on there. Jerry Stewart saying this is Lord TV. Isila Enot, double fisting, how are you? Oh boy, we have a long name here. Mukamadu Yukabov.
All the syllables.
Every syllable. Says, hello, Brad. How are you? Denise Johnson, how are you? Jasiva Singh, squad up. Sweet Dot. Cordella Douglas, also double fisting. And Bifin Don Wade saying, hello, sir. We have the top 7,000 news stories of the day. Probably the largest news cards I've ever seen in my entire life. At least 30 to 40 pounds of cards I have in front of me. So I really got to do some extra stretching. Why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while I get ready for some schmoozing?
Absolutely. All right, everybody. First things first, for anybody and everybody on all social media sites, I need you guys to join the Facebook fan page. It's very easy. All you have to go to is go to Facebook, go into the search, put in Brad Show Live. That fan page, VIP fan page, will pop up, and you got to join it. You have to, because we're going to do some fun games with a lot of the fans that are on there, because this is a VIP. This is the VIP section. And the most important thing is you can put your questions in anytime throughout the day, and we will make sure we ask them before we ask any of the social media questions. So we'll take
Excuse me, Yonathan, I just have a public service question, not an announcement. I don't mean to interrupt you. Dion Watson says, Brad, mind your cuss, bad word. What'd I say wrong?
I don't think you said a bad word.
Maybe when I was trying to pronounce that person's name, did it sound like I said a curse word? I don't know. Back to you, Yo-Yo. I have no idea. If I said anything bad, my apologies.
Yes. Okay, so now everybody on Facebook, we have to get this show out. You have the power in your hands. All you have to do is click share. It's so simple. I need you guys to do this a couple of times. We used to do this 10, 20, 30 times each, and I don't think you're doing that anymore. So I need you guys to put in that little extra effort. All you have to do is click that little arrow that says share and share it to your page, anyone else's page. You can copy the link and send it in the text message blast. You can send it in an inbox. I do this all the time. I do this every day. So I need you guys to go in, like I said, a little extra harder, and make sure you guys share this show to any and everybody. Now also put in your comments and your questions in the comment section right now. Like, love, smiley face, wow face, whatever you're feeling, whatever emotion. We love the interaction when you're talking to us and showing us with the emojis. All right, so now, Ness-quick, what are we going to do on YouTube?
On YouTube, friends, this is so important and you don't want to miss out. You should already be subscribed and make sure you turn on that notification bell so you know when Brad's show is on live Monday through Friday. And you already know, on the show, Brad brings you so much value and so much knowledge. We are answering questions that so many people need answers to. And Brad is bringing you all this information just for you guys. So let's share, share, share. You'll see that share arrow right below. Send it as a text message, copy the link, let people know that Brad's show is live right now and that later on in the show, Brad will be answering your immigration questions. I'm also taking a look on YouTube, and I feel like we could get a few more thumbs up than this, y'all. I'm only seeing 20 thumbs up. I don't know if I'm going to let Brad answer immigration questions if I don't get that going, because when you give us those thumbs up, that's a simple thank you. We love what you're doing here, and that lets YouTube know that we are really bringing value, and it navigates more engagement. But that's up to you guys. We need your help. You can also catch us on Instagram at Brad Show Live. Make sure that you follow us there and like our post where we are sharing the best snippets of our show. You'll catch us on our stories, and every now and again we have some great contests on there and some awesome media and quiz for you guys as well. Without further ado, let's get to some schmoozing with Brad.
All right, so on Saturday, Ness-quick and Yo-Yo, the House unanimously, the House, Congress, the House of Representatives unanimously passed a bill to provide emergency funding to United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, which is set to furlough nearly 2/3 of its employees at the end of the month. Furlough means they go home, they don't come to work, they don't get paid, they're not fired, they just stay home, don't get paid, don't come to work. Now, pressure has been mounting through the week to shore up U.S.C.I.S, the agency that handles citizenship, green card, visa, all the other immigration applications. This is not EOIR, which is the immigration courts. They're completely funded. The agency planned to furlough about 70% of its staff on August 31st. And should the furlough move ahead, most of the agency's work is expected to come to a halt. That doesn't mean they won't accept applications. It just means that application is going to sit there for a very long time. Now, this could potentially prevent also more than 100,000 people from taking their citizenship oath. There is 100,000 people who have passed their citizenship exams. They're waiting to be sworn in. If they can be sworn in soon, they can participate in the November elections. But Donald Trump does not want these people sworn in by November. Why? Because most likely they would vote against him. Now, in a written statement, Representative Zoe Lofgren, the bill's sponsor, said the legislation should spur the Trump administration to delay its planned furloughs, which would affect about 13,400 employees. So can you imagine, Yo-Yo, and Vanessa. Okay? Do you want to know why people take a job with the U.S. government? What is the number one reason why somebody would take a job with the U.S. government?
Security.
Exactly. Instead of taking a job at Spar Bernstein, for example, or Yo-Yo Enterprises, or you know, whatever the company may be. Because when you take a job with the government, it's a job for life. You get paid less, you work less, a little less pressure, but what you are guaranteed is a steady paycheck from the U.S. government every week and a very nice pension when you retire. That's the benefit of working for the U.S. government.
Yeah.
Right.
Other than that, people would Other than that, people would work private sector.
Get a government job.
Right.
Get a government job.
Yeah.
Try to get a government job.
Yeah, Ness-quick. Why don't you get a government job and leave us? Right? Stop listening to your
No,
family.
I like my
Don't
job.
do that.
So, but here, 13,400 people.
I still get my job.
But 13,400 people took a job with the government. Can you imagine? And now they say no, you're not getting paid. What's the purpose of then go to work for the government? Go work in the private sector. You make more money.
Isn't
that terrible?
Thought.
Now.
Someone said that a year ago.
Now the House of Representatives has passed this bill. We got to have the Senate pass it. The Senate can pass it by next week with something called unanimous consent, because the Senate's not in session, but they can do something called unanimous consent, where all the senators agree that they're not going to come back and they're just going to fund the agency. Now, the reason why there's no funding for this agency is immigrants fund U.S.C.I.S. with their filing fees. It's self-funded. So the U.S. government does not pay a penny towards U.S.C.I.S. Now, what U.S.C.I.S. is saying is because of the Trump rules and initiatives over the last few years, they've received less and less applications for citizenship, for green cards, for visas. And as a result of receiving less applications, they don't have as much money anymore to pay their expenses. Now, from what I hear, you know, and I don't know if, you know, that's their government line. Well, excuse me. That's their government line, that they don't get the applications. And as a result, they're not getting the applications, they're not getting the fees, and they can't fund themselves, which is why they need this House of Representatives bill to pass. Now, what I hear through the grapevine, which there is no grapevine anymore, it's through telephone and talking, but you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know what I heard through the grapevine means. It was how did people hear through grapes? I don't even understand what that meant, but it's an old-fashioned term, I guess. I don't know, but it must have meant something back in the day, right?
Check and see why.
Yeah, what is that? Yeah,
I always
heard through the
understood-
grapevine. What does that even mean?
I always took that as like a news source. I don't know why I always thought it was like, look it up, Yo-Yo.
Yeah,
but
I'm thinking like people are in the fields with the grapes.
grapevine.
I don't know, by the grapevines. You know, they're hanging out eating grapes by the grapevines. I don't know.
I never thought of the reference with grapes.
Yeah.
But I see.
Right. You know, but every saying, by the way, and we'll get back to immigration in a second, but Yo-Yo and Vanessa, you know, like every saying came from somewhere. You know, like you ever heard like, ooh, Vanessa is part of the upper crust, you know, she's very fancy. You know, like that came from, the upper crust came from England because the kings and queens would only eat the upper crust of the bread. You know, but that was back in the Middle Ages. That's, you know, so like words mean something. So something, it came from the grapevine, came from somewhere, you know what I'm saying? But any event, I did hear through the grapevine, Vanessa and Yo-Yo, through multiple sources at U.S.C.I.S. that I cannot name, that the government line of they're out of money is bull.
Terrible. It's terrible.
I found out where it came from, though.
Where's it come from?
So it was originated in the USA. It comes from the telegraph system invented in the 19th century. So the system looked like I guess the poles and the routes and the wires. It looked like train vines. So the telegraph line became known as the grapevine.
Got it. You see, everything means something, right? It all comes from somewhere.
This is so worrisome, Brad.
Yes, so it is, but it's going to, whatever it's going to be a very short time, so people aren't even going to feel it. It's not going to be that U.S.C.I.S. If U.S.C.I.S. is not funded for 6, 9, 12 months, yeah, people are going to start feeling it. But if U.S.C.I.S. is not funded for 3, 4, 5, 7, 14 days until, the government gets their act together, no one's going to feel much of a difference. No one's going to feel much. So I'm not overly worried at this point, although I would like to see it. I would like to see them get funded. Meanwhile, did you watch, we talked about this a little bit, Joe Biden's speech on Thursday, On Friday, we talked about it on Thursday, if you remember, Vanessa.
Yes.
And since his speech, Joe's favorability rating among Democrats has increased from 86% from 79%, and he now has a more favorable rating amongst likely voters than he did before his speech. Now, Trump's favorable rating right now at the start of his convention stands at 32%. Only one out of 3 Americans look at Trump favorably. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean much, because Trump never had, and he's president of the United States and he controls his entire party. He's a party of one. All right. It's not even the Republican Party. It's the Trump Party. He's never had a favorable rating above 50%. He's never had a majority of Americans like him. Yet he controls America due to an antiquated electoral system. That makes no sense. That even though a majority of Americans do not like him, the way the system works, it's you just need the electoral system to win, which favors more. Yeah, the same thing could happen again. Trump could win 43% of the vote and still be the president of the United States because the electoral college, it favors rural states, and it favors the states where the Republicans are more popular. So we'll see what happens. Now, Biden, I liked in this speech, my favorite line in his speech, if you go back and watch it, it's only 25 minutes on YouTube. Everyone should watch it. It was a really powerful speech for Joe Biden. But in the end, he had a quote from this poem. It says, "This is the time when hope and history rhyme." And I love that because, you know what? We need somebody now who is a healer, who's able to bridge the divide between Republicans and Democrats. They had a lot of Republicans come over and say they're going to vote for Joe Biden. And this is the time in history where America needs, a healer. My biggest concern, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, okay, and I've already read articles about this, that if it's an extraordinarily close election, I mean, we could tear America apart. It could end up being a civil war. Do you even see that as a potentially happening? If it's a close election, can you? I could see that. I could see it happening. I mean, not necessarily. Maybe I don't know if there's going to be like literally a civil war, North versus South.
Right.
But I could see it getting very, very close.
And then it's also like, how will we vote? And in the times right now, and all this with the mail and the the postal, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
This election.
It is a lot. Meanwhile, the Republican National Convention's kicking off today, and why I say it's the Trump tour. It's Trump party. It's not Republican Party anymore, because Donald Trump has decided, I'm going to speak every night. On Monday night,
oh my God,
I'm going to make a speech. On Tuesday night, you know who you're going to hear from? You're going to hear from Donald Trump.
This guy.
You're also going to hear from Donald Trump's kids. On Wednesday, you're going to hear from Pence for a little bit, and then you'll also hear from Donald Trump. And on Thursday, just because we haven't had enough Trump yet, he will formally have his formal speech of acceptance for president for the Republican Party. Crazy. Wow. It's really party of one. It's not even a Republican Party anymore.
Right.
Meanwhile, Kellyanne Conway She is the senior advisor to Trump, one of his longest-serving aides. She is stepping down and saying goodbye, adios, see you later. Conway, whose title is counselor to the president, was Trump's third campaign manager in 2016. If you coincidentally, she is the only campaign manager not yet to be indicted. The first one's in jail and the second one's indicted. Manafort and what's his name? I just went blank on his name. You know who I'm talking about, Yo-Yo, Jilly. Manafort and who was the other guy? It was who and Bannon, Steve Bannon. Oh my God, I just had a loss in my head for a second. Now, now her husband, Kellyanne's husband, she's leaving Yo-Yo and Vanessa because they have the most screwed up family public family in America, as far as I'm aware. Kellyanne Conway is an ardent supporter of Donald Trump. Her husband, George Conway, hates Donald Trump and has a huge Twitter following, being an outspoken critic of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has called Kellyanne Conway's husband, George, a loser multiple times. Now, the kids of Kellyanne and George started going on TikTok. The most famous of the kids, Claudia, who's 15 years old, has said that she is applying for emancipation from her mother and father because she hates them so much, and talks very, very badly on TikTok about both of them. So Kellyanne tweeted, "I am going to leave my job to spend more time with my children." Except
the ones that don't want to spend time with her.
Right, except she didn't tell her children before she tweeted it out. So her daughter goes back on TikTok and says, "Thanks, Mom, for telling the world before telling me I still want emancipation." That is the most screwed up family in America, as far as I'm aware of right now. Maybe there's more screwed up families, but certainly publicly, they are.
They're up there.
They are up there. Now, well, Jilly just said, what about the Trumps? Are they screwed up? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not on TikTok.
Yeah, because, okay, so let's compare, okay, Kellyanne and George. Now, Trump's sister has called him on a recording just a year ago a liar, okay? The niece wrote a book, which is on #1 New York Times bestseller, that he cheated on his SATs. Somebody by the name of Joe Shapiro took his SATs for him, and that he's an awful, awful human being. You know what?
So
Trump is the most screwed up. Kellyanne Conway and George Conway, #2.
Right.
Because in the end, it's like he wins because he's still president.
Exactly.
Kellyanne was just supporting him.
Exactly.
Yeah, Trump wins.
Exactly. Trump wins again. He's always winning.
Oh no! Don't say that.
He's always winning. This pumpkin. Meanwhile, Facebook is bracing itself for Trump to cast doubt on election results. We talked about maybe being a civil war after the election. Sources tell the New York Times that Facebook is preparing itself if this becomes a reality. Facebook employees are laying out contingency plans and walking through post-election scenarios that include attempts by Trump, foreign interference by the Russians, or others to use the platform to delegitimize the results and get people up in arms. Facebook is also working through how it might act if Trump tries to invalidate the results by declaring that the Postal Service lost the mail. They have discussed a, quote, kill switch to shut off political advertising after Election Day, should this become a reality. YouTube and Twitter are also having these internal debates as well. Can you imagine? Yo-Yo, can you imagine this?
Too much.
Oh.
Yeah. You know what today is, by the way? We have to get to
Fuzzy Monday.
It is Fuzzy Monday. And I just dropped my Fuzzy Monday cards. And 1 second. I got to bend down and get my Fuzzy Monday cards. I got them. And it is Fuzzy Monday. All of our favorite fuzzy news right here in my cards. Now, the first story here is a little black puppy from Thailand went to the vet's office to ask help to get home. Somehow he became separated from his owner, this little cute doggy, and was lost and alone in the big wide world. But this clever pup is a smart little pup. The dog managed to track down his doctor's office. It's the Puta Teresa Veterinary Clinic, where he was vaccinated months earlier. Now, surveillance video captured the dog arriving at the vet clinic, waiting patiently out front until being noticed by the staff. Sure enough, the pup had picked the perfect place to get the help he needed. Staff at the clinic immediately recognized this cute little pup as one of their patients, called his worried owner, and let the owner know the pup was found. Look how cute those ears are. And just like that, the lost puppy's harrowing ordeal was over, all thanks to his cleverness. The owner is happy. The dog is happy. Treats for everybody. Yo. Another Fuzzy Monday happy ending. Here is another Fuzzy Monday happy ending. A little cat by the name of Lois in the UK is being called a real Houdini after forcing 3 separate vehicles to be partially dismantled in order to rescue it after it climbed into the car's engine. Officers from the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals were called to a car parked after someone heard meowing coming from inside the hood. Wheels and bodywork were removed from the car, but before Lowe's was reached, she ran under another car. The car was also partially dismantled before the third escape under the officer's own van. And then they had to take apart the van too to finally get this Houdini cat out from...
It's a kitty Dini.
It's a kitty Dini, exactly. And now for my next trick, I have gone down into the engine of the guy who's trying to get me out. Now the officer...
Catch me if you can.
Exactly. Now the officer said it took several hours to rescue the animal, believed to be between 6 and 12 weeks old. Now that is baby Houdini. That's not even kitty Houdini. That is baby Houdini. An officer by the name of Natalie Reed has since adopted this cat, Los. She said the kitten was proving a little Houdini, but there's no way we could have her in any of the vehicles or alone in the middle of a busy town center, so we just had to keep trying to free her. Another happy ending on Fuzzy Mondays. You see, we need happy endings, right? We need some happy endings.
Pumpkin talk and all these damaged families.
Yeah, we need some fuzzy happy endings, right?
Tell me a kitty story, Brad. Yeah. Tell me a kitty story. All
right. So Fiddly, did you hear the story about Fiddly, the 6-year-old golden retriever? Can carry up to 6 tennis balls in his mouth at once. It's true. Someone will toss him 6 balls. Someone can toss this dog 6 balls. And once he knows he got 6 nearby, he'll start to pick them up. The first 3 or 4 are very quick, and he picks those up with ease. But for the 5th and 6th balls, he'll use his paws to keep them in place while he pops them in his mouth. By the time he's got all 6 in his mouth, his cheeks are stretched wide, his tail wags furiously, and he knows he's got them all. Finley lives in Canandaigua, New York, with his owners Cherry and Rob Malloy. His family first noticed his ability, and he's learned to use his paws to wedge up to 6 balls into his mouth, all on his own. Yes, he is a hit online. He's got more followers, Yo-Yo, than Brad Show Live, the dog who can put 6 balls in his mouth.
How many does he have?
He's got 29,000 followers on Instagram. That is more followers than Brad Show Live. He's more popular
more thumbs up than Brad Show Live.
More thumbs up than Brad Show Live, this dog.
Maybe you should put some balls in your mouth, Brad.
Brad will put 6, 8 balls.
It's not hump day, Yo-Yo.
You know what? I didn't even think that. That's disgusting, Yo-Yo. That is disgusting. I was thinking putting 6 magic 8 balls.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I took it there. It was me. Focus, Steve. Focus, squad. You need to give that a thumbs up.
Listen. I have nothing against anybody who wants to put anything in their mouth, but I will tell you, I just want to make I just want to make a public announcement. Uncle Brad has never had any balls in his mouth. Okay, just want to make it clear to everybody out there. Thank you. Yo-Yo has turned Fuzzy Monday into Hump Day. Thank you very much, Yo-Yo. Thank you very much.
That's what I'm here
started
for.
the show on the 25th. I mean, you guys are just ahead of yourselves this week.
Meanwhile,
I need y'all to slow down.
Meanwhile, in the process of sharing Finley's ability with the world, Erin Malloy did some research and realized Finley had the current Guinness Book of World Records holder beat. They called the Guinness Book of World Records. So Finley's in the Guinness Book of World Records. Uncle Brad's not in there yet with the speed round. In 2003, a golden retriever from Texas set the record with 5 tennis balls in his mouth. And and finally, the last Fuzzy Monday story. Did you know Australia has an annual duck fashion show? Yes, it is the Duck Fall Fashion Show. It's true. It's not the Fall Fashion Show. It's in the summer. Every summer, as part of the Pied Piper Duck Show, there is a duck fashion show. The ducks have dressed for more than 30 years by farmer Brian Harrington, and each competitor receives 3 outfits, one for the day, one for the evening, and one for a wedding. And the costumes are covered in brilliant detail, color, and fabrics made from the best materials. And according to Harrington, these feathered models are just as talented as their human counterparts, and they really appreciate their fashions. And there you have it, Yo-Yo and Vanessa.
Reminds me of Mary Poppins.
Duck fashion. That's what we've come down to here at Bradshaw Live, the duck fashion show. We tried to put on our own duck fashion show here. It just didn't work out as well.
Can you imagine dressing a duck? Can we just start there?
We were going to do a groundhog fashion show.
You know, I do not mess with birds, so count me out.
Yeah, you have a bird. You have a bird fear of birds, right?
Hate birds.
Yeah. What about sharks? Do you fear sharks?
No, I like to pet them. Stop
I fear sharks too. All right, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while I get ready to answer their immigration questions.
All right, everybody on Facebook, you already know what time it is. It's time to start your watch parties. All you have to do is click share, watch party, then start. It literally takes the video from our page to your page. You are the hostess with the mostest, the host with the most. You will be talking to all your friends and family on your comment section, but please bring them over to our side and let them know that they can ask any questions. Right now is the time to do it. Please, everybody start your watch parties. Start your watch parties. Also, put in all your comments in the comment section. Look, we done showed you about 3 times now. Y'all know how to do this, all right? Y'all know how to do this 3 times. So put all your questions in the comment section as well, because we will be doing a social media section where we check in and get all the questions from there. All right, now Ness-quick, what are we going to do on YouTube and on Instagram?
On YouTube, guys, you already know you should be subscribed to our channel and make sure you turn on the notification bell so you know when we are on live Monday through Friday. But most importantly, this is the time. Just like Yo-Yo mentioned, you also have an arrow right below on YouTube. Click that arrow, copy this link, and share it in text messages. Let people know that Brad is about to answer what may be their immigration questions and they don't know where to get the answers. Provide them with the source. We're giving so much value and so much knowledge, and Brad is about to answer immigration questions live. We are also on Instagram at Bradshaw Live, where you can catch the best snippets on our show. Make sure to follow us there, where you can also ask us questions in our direct message on Instagram as well, and you can share that page there. But let everyone know that Brad is about to get started with the answers to your immigration questions now.
All right. And by the way, it's one of those odd days. We don't have a lot of callers. So if you want to call in, the number scrolls on the bottom. You're definitely going to get your immigration question answered. Let's go to Nikki in Benton, Texas. Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Nikki.
Hi, Brad.
Hi,
Thank
Nikki.
you for all you're doing.
My pleasure.
Yeah, my question is, if you are a citizen and you are on housing and you want to file for your mom to come over, is the housing going to be a hindrance?
Yes, if it's government housing, government subsidized housing, Based on your income, it would absolutely be 2 strikes against you, unless you live in the state of New York, New Jersey. New York, Connecticut, or Vermont, where the laws have changed because of a lawsuit. Eventually, I'm sure over time, there'll be an injunction on all of them. Hopefully Biden wins and, you don't have to worry about it. But at the moment, if your mother went in for a visa appointment, the answer is yes. Now, your mom's not going for a visa appointment right now because Trump put a ban on immigration from around the world. So she's not going to get a visa appointment anyway till sometime next year. So right now, don't worry about it. File the visa petition. You don't have to move out. Let's see what happens next year. Let's see what the state of the world is. Let's see who the president is. And let's see what injunctions different courts are doing.
Okay, because my plan was just to stop the housing because I really want my mom to be over here.
I know that, but you're already in the housing, so it's going to be a negative against you. My advice is wait a few months and see what happens. You could always end up getting out next year if you wanted. It'll still be a double negative, but we'll deal with it, okay?
Okay.
All right. So hang in there and let's see what happens after the election. Let's see what happens with coronavirus. Let's see what happens with coronavirus vaccine and all that stuff. And proclamations and everything else. All right? All right. Just hang in there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Summer in Atlanta. Summer, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you for everything you do.
My pleasure. What's going on?
I have a question. I'm a U.S. citizen, and I'm married to a Jamaican. I filed for him and his 2 stepchildren last year. They just had their interview on the 10th of this month. But they told me I needed to get a new joint sponsor, and I was confused because the joint sponsor that we had, she made well over enough money, but they were saying that she lives in a different state, and they wanted me to find a new sponsor.
That doesn't matter where she lives. That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. I wasn't able to go to the interview because
I don't know either, but that's an odd. It has nothing to do with where she lives. She earns enough. She earns enough.
They told me they gave them a 221G, told them to return the next day because he still had to prove a little bit of an ongoing relationship. So they submitted that evidence, and luckily I was able to find another joint sponsor who could give me all of the information. So we submitted it. Okay. But this is the second part. The second part is now it's like they're scrutinized. They're saying that we need more proof of a relationship. So we've been married 4 years. I've been to Jamaica 5 times, and we have tons of records. I've added him as a beneficiary on my life insurance. I work for airlines, so he's on my flight benefits. He's authorized user on my credit card.
You guys text each other and call each other. Just submit all your
each other, call each other.
Submit all your. Here's my text messages for the last 3 years, as long as there's nothing very personal in there. And just, we talk every day. We talk every other day. Whatever it is, that's what I would do.
We gave them all of that. So right now, I haven't gotten because I gave him just a whole folder, and I said, hey, whatever they ask for, just pull it out.
Right.
So they wanted just more evidence. So I said, well, just show them more of the evidence that we already have. So he did. But they separated my 19-year-old stepdaughter and him. So I think that was like a Stokes interview, and they were just asking so many questions.
Yeah, they were trying to like trip somebody up, find a contradiction somewhere. Because what Trump is doing now is he's instructing everybody, all the people who work at the U.S. Embassy, to figure out ways not to grant green cards. Okay,
but I know we have well over. I gave him. It was 2 folders for financial.
If you still have a problem and you want us to contact the embassy, we can. Or if you feel you've got it, but sounds like you've got it. But let's see what happens.
Well, I just wanted to know because I was just confused. So with the 221G, or on the SEAC, it's still saying that the case has been refused.
If it's been refused, then you've been denied.
Well, it still stands for administrative processing. It kept saying that from the day.
You are confused because I'm not sure. So it's either administrative. If it's administrative, if it's
my case.
All right. So what would you like me to do for you?
I want to know just based off of the facts, do you think that we have enough evidence for a bona fide marriage?
Yes.
That's what I thought as well.
Yes.
But honestly, I could just saying that an officer adjudicated the case and it was just saying that they need to further review it. That's all they were saying.
Well, you got to give them 120 days to make a decision from the final interview.
From the final interview. So they kept their passports and all that. Does that mean anything?
That means hopefully they'll put a visa in it. Let's hope.
Okay, because I kept hearing that if they kept everything, that's hopeful. Because they didn't give them a denial.
Right.
All they
Correct.
gave them was
if they return the passports, that means
221G.
they're not putting anything in it.
No.
Right.
They haven't done that. And on the SEAC, I still see a little bit of movement, but still not an approval.
Well, when did they go for the interview?
August the 10th, and then they returned on the 11th.
All right. So if you don't hear anything by October 11th, 60 days in, give me a call.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right. Let's go to Sam in San Francisco. Sam.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Okay. So I have 3 questions for you, but they're smaller. So affordable support. My wife does not work, and I got a joint sponsor. So does the joint sponsor have to sponsor me and my wife, or just me? Because I'm the beneficiary.
You sponsor the beneficiary.
Only the beneficiary. Okay. And the work permit form, as you may, I'm sure you must be knowing that they have updated it, and it will be 25th. So if it reaches there before 25th, that is today, 24th. So will they still consider the old form?
I hope so.
Okay, because it says on the website that 25th and beyond, if it's postmarked, then they will reject it.
Right.
And
Well, hopefully you got it in before today, and it should be okay. I mean, it's supposed to be that way, but who knows? With immigration, they're crazy.
Yeah, you never know.
Right.
Okay, and I'm not able to fill some forms online. I mean, they're grayed out areas. So is it okay if I fill whatever I can and then fill the rest with the pen?
Yes.
Okay, and I know this, but I want to make sure. So the overstay thing, if I have overstayed, I came on an F1.
If you're married to a U.S. citizen, don't worry about it.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Brad.
All right.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Alec in Fort Myers, Florida. Alec.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, good, thank you. In 2017, I filed for the green card through marriage. And in 2018, the marriage failed due to domestic violence. I also had an interview with immigration in 2018 that I showed up with my attorney, and obviously I didn't go with my ex-wife because I broke up with her. The immigration officer said that I proved the case, but I filed for the VAWA, but she said, okay, we'll wait for the approval.
So you didn't get an approved case. You went on a VAWA. You went on an adjustment on a marriage. You filed a VAWA, and the officer held the case open, waiting for the VAWA.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's right, yeah. So
what happened?
Just recently, I had the VAWA approved for approval.
Great.
2 weeks ago.
Great.
So when I filed for the VAWA, I didn't file for the green card. I just did the VAWA.
Well, you filed you have a pending adjustment from the marriage. You don't have to. So what you need, as long as you have a pending adjustment, what you should do now, immigration's going to do it, but what you should do now anyway is make a photocopy of the approval, write the officer at the local office, say, here's my approval, and please schedule me for a final interview. Or just write the supervisor there, wherever you are.
So basically, I got, because there's immigration, in Fort Myers, immigration building. Mm-hmm. So basically, with the approval letter, now just take that there, and then schedule an appointment.
They're going to schedule it anyway, but you could always follow up with letters for sure.
Yeah, because with the approval letter, that's what they said. There was the I-485 was pending, and we'll let you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, there we are. Wonderful.
So you're okay. You don't have to do anything. I mean, if you were to do anything, just write letters saying, here's my copy of my approval. Can we move this along? Other than that, just wait.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome. Yeah, because I thought I had to refile again then. Awesome. Okay. Awesome.
All right.
All right, then. Thank you.
All right. Thumbs up, Alec. All good. All right. Let's go to Sabrina in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Sabrina.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
This is, I'm calling to find out about my status here because, not really my status because I know I'm out of status. However, I was in immigration custody and all that, and now I had my U.S. citizen child apply for me with the I-30, and they approved that, right?
Right.
So now I'm in the process of filling out the I-485, but I'm wondering if it's a good idea, seeing that my situation, for me to try and do that on my own.
No. What do you mean you were in immigration custody? What happened?
I came on a F1 student visa.
Right. Why were you in immigration custody? Sabrina, we lost you. Why were you in immigration custody?
Can you hear me?
I do now.
Okay. So I got arrested because I was driving without the proper paperwork after all of my...
Okay, so what happened with immigration? Did they you saw a judge? What happened?
They gave me a prosecutorial discretion, whatever, because I finished high school and all that other stuff.
So then the answer is you should be hiring a lawyer because you're still in removal, even though you got prosecutorial discretion. You just can't. If you filed an adjustment application with the local office, they're going to deny it. They're going to say jurisdiction rests with immigration, with the immigration court who gave you prosecutorial discretion. So you have. They
gave me.
You good?
Yeah, they closed my case though.
It doesn't matter. It's closed. Administratively closed is not the same as terminated. You're out of deportation. Administratively closed, prosecutorial discretion means we're going to agree not to schedule you for another hearing date where you would be ordered deported. So you're just going to kind of just stay in this never land. So you need to recalendar your case with the immigration judge and ask the immigration judge to adjust your status. And that's something you would need a lawyer to do, I would believe.
So when you say adjust my status, what do you mean?
The judge in removal will adjudicate your adjustment of status application. You file it with the judge. But you can't file it with the judge until you recalendar and get before the judge. If you were to file, I'm repeating myself, but if you were to file with the local office, it would be denied.
Oh. So you're talking about the I-485. I'm going to file that with the immigration.
No, you're going to file it with an immigration judge after you recalendar your case and appear before him or her and say, Judge, I have an approved I-130 visa petition through my daughter. I want to adjust my status.
Oh. Okay. Oh, okay.
All right, hold on.
Light bulb.
Hold on. Yep, light bulb. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Eureka! We finally got it. Let's go to Kathy in Costa Rica. Kathy.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
So look, I'm doing all right. Thank you very much. So look, I'm calling on behalf of my mom. This is what happened. She entered the United States in 1991 illegally. So she just, hopped the border, got over there. And she was living over there, and she was caught with somebody. Well, somebody caught a case, and she happened to be there at that moment.
Right.
So it was a drug case. She was at that moment there.
She was in a house where drugs were, and everyone got busted, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Mm-hmm. So yes. So it was a
It's one of those wrong. What is it? What do they say? I was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, seriously, just like that.
Right.
So it was a prison case, no possession on her, nothing like that. She did 21 months. She served 21 months in the Danbury jail, and she got deported. She got deported in 1997. So she got caught on 94.
Right.
94, she got caught. She did 21 months, and then in 97, she got deported. Her deportation was a 5-year, out of the United States deportation. She wants to know, ever since then, she hasn't gone back. Right now, we live here in Costa Rica, but, her mom is there, which is my grandmother, is in New York City.
Yeah, if she was found guilty of a drug offense, any sort of possession or attempted sale, I would need to look at the underlying arrest and what she pled guilty to in court, because misprison could mean a lot of different things. So those are one of those, if she has a drug offense, she's not going to be able to get a green card. If it's something other than a drug offense, then perhaps yes.
Okay.
So,
all right, well, just a visa, just to ask for a visa to go and visit. She doesn't want to even go and stay over there.
I doubt she would get. I doubt she would get a visa at this point. There is a waiver for visas, but she would have to show she's coming to visit. She would have to show it's in America's interest for her to come to visit. It's in her mother's interest for her to come visit, but I'm not sure why it's in America's interest for her to come visit. And with high unemployment, and she's already been deported with some sort of serious offense with 21 months in jail, I doubt they would approve a waiver for a visa, but you never know. It's more likely, depending on what she was found guilty of, if there's a family member who sponsors her for a green card.
Okay. What do you suggest I do now? Like, is there any way you guys can look at it?
Yeah. Hold on. You can have a consultation with us. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's go to DANELLI in Spartanburg, South Carolina. DANELLI.
Hi, Brad. Thank you for getting my call.
My pleasure.
I got married with my husband 2 years ago. We got the I-130 approved on August last year. And then we filed for the 601, for the I-601A.
For the provisional waiver.
Yes, on this January, and it has not been, we hadn't gotten any response.
If it takes about 12 months, and maybe with Corona, maybe a little longer. So if you just filed in January, don't expect to hear it till next winter.
Okay, but this is my question. Okay. The person that is helping us, the lawyer that is helping us, told us my husband has an administratively closed proceedings in New Jersey, and that happened on 2012. Can you hear me?
I do. So he was in removal proceedings. It was administratively closed, just like the lady I spoke to earlier. So he would need, if he does the provisional waiver, he would need a second waiver called the 212 waiver to return after deportation. And that's also done here in the United States, because what would happen is when he leaves the United States, because even though your case is administratively closed, it still exists. So he would have self-deported as soon as he leaves. So he needs two waivers, actually.
Yes. So that's why I was a little bit confused. The lawyer that is helping us right now told us that he never said anything about the 212. He said that we had to go and open and do a motion to reopen in New Jersey to send the case to North Carolina. And then
the judges aren't reopening for provisional waivers. What you would do is a 212 waiver.
That's the second opinion that I got from another lawyer, so that's what I was calling.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Two opinions, 212 waiver, one opinion, motion to reopen, and the jury says 212 waiver. Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Right.
Bye.
Let's go to Jesse in Seattle. Jesse.
Hi, Brad.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for the...
Whoops, we lost Jesse. Jesse, we're back. What's going on?
Okay, I have two questions.
Yes.
Sorry, in fact, there are three. I want to ask, can somebody buy a house when the case is still pending?
Can someone what? With a what? With a what?
Buy a house.
Can someone buy a house? Yes. Anyone can buy a house. You don't have to have a legal status to buy a home. You don't even have to be physically living in America to buy a home.
Oh, so while my case is still pending, I can't?
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, another question.
Yes.
Can my employer, I've been working for my employer for more than 5 years, can she file for me?
Perhaps. It depends, because where are you from, Jesse?
I'm from Africa.
Okay. How did you come to America?
Through B1, B2.
Okay. And you've overstayed your time?
Of course, yes.
Right. And where's your mom and dad?
They're back home.
Did they ever try to get green cards?
Not really.
No. Did you ever try to get a green card?
Sorry?
Have you ever tried to get a green card before?
Yeah, I filed for my asylum.
Oh, just your asylum.
Yeah.
The answer is no. Your employer's not going to be able to sponsor you unless the laws change, because you would have to go back to Africa to pick up your green card. And you've applied for asylum and said, I'm terrified to go back to Africa. Then why would you be here picking up your green card? Then you lied in the asylum. And number two, you've overstayed your time. So you have unauthorized stay of more than a year. And as a result of that, you would have a 10-year bar.
Okay.
All right. So you're not going to do either one.
Sorry?
So you're not going to do either one. You're going to wait on the asylum. Hopefully you win the asylum.
Okay, the last question. If I already paid for the consultation once, do I have to pay again to talk to you one-on-one?
Oh, you're asking me Spar and Bernstein rules?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this is the rule. If you pay for a consultation, you can always have a second consultation for free within a week if you have more questions. But after that, then unfortunately you would have to pay again. So unless you've had the consultation last week, I'm happy to talk to you for free a second time. But if not, then you would unfortunately have to pay again.
Okay, how much is it?
It's $150.
All right. Thank you so
hold
much.
on. All right, let's go to James in Denver. James.
Hi.
How are you?
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Fine.
Why are we losing people here? We just lost James. Call us back, James. Alicia in Patterson, New Jersey. Alicia.
Hi, Brad.
How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. I just have one quick question.
Yeah.
I am adjusting status here in the United States, but I also have a U.S. citizen child. If that child gets food stamps, would it affect my immigration benefits?
No, as long as the food stamps for the child, not for you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Brad.
Let's go to Layden in Manhattan. Layden.
Hi, Brad.
Hi,
how are you?
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Brad. Brad, a quick question. I have petitioned for my daughter in 2016. Her priority date is 2017 of February. I have paid all fee. I'm now a citizen. So I want to know, Brad, when will she able to join me here in the U.S.? And she just turned 25.
What's the priority date?
February 2017.
About a year and a half from now.
Oh.
So hang in there.
Okay, Brad. Continue doing your good work, Brad.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right, let's go to Larry in Houston. Larry.
Hey, Uncle Brad.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
Good. What's going on?
I just want to appreciate you for your service.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So I filed for an AOS, adjustment of status.
Right.
And I went for my interview in November last year.
Uh-huh.
And after then, I haven't heard from them. But last month, I received a letter for another interview. And they were referring to the date that I attended my interview last November.
Yeah, sounds like they don't believe that you're in a bona fide marriage with your spouse. And they're going to call you in for a more detailed interview where they're most likely going to separate you and do the Stokes interview. That's what it sounds like to me.
When I went for the interview last November, we actually separated.
You're going to get it to happen again.
So, but after a week later, they sent a letter of cancellation because they were quoting the date I went for the interview last year. So, but last week I got another interview for next month, and they stated that
you're going to get
an initial interview.
Yeah, but you're going to get a Stokes interview. That's what's going to happen.
Oh,
they're going to
so
separate you. You got to be prepared. You and your wife got to be prepared for Stokes for sure.
Oh, all right.
All right. Hang in there.
Thank
if you need help,
much.
hold on. Let's go to Pettigay in Leesburg, Florida. Pettigay.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Brad. I'm fine, thank you.
What's going on?
So, my question is, I was filed for under the F-12 category. We arrived here on April 25, 2020. The thing is that I haven't received my green card as yet. My mom and I came here at the same time. She received her green card in June. We paid all fees a month before. We're supposed to check in on our case status. It's saying immigrant visa fee paid, payment received. March.
Yeah, well,
23rd.
I mean, you know, I don't know what happened to your green card. The first step I would do is call the 1-800 number and speak to the customer service.
Okay.
All right, and then write a follow-up letter and see what they have to say. If they make sense, then fine. Hopefully, It'll be in the mail shortly. It's possible, it was mailed and lost. I mean, you got to start with the customer service and go from there. And then if you're still having problems, call me back and let me know what everybody at immigration is saying.
Alrighty, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Gabby in Fort Myers, Florida. Gabby.
Hi, Brad.
How you doing?
Hi, good. I had DACA for many years. In 2017, I applied for VAWA. And my VAWA case was approved in December 2019. So I renewed my work permit this April because it expires in October in 2 months. And my green card application is pending. I just received a courtesy letter saying that they need more evidence for the I-693 was not submitted, but they don't want me to send it yet until I have an interview. But my question is, since my work permit is going to expire in 2 months, I haven't received anything.
Yeah, well, you should be filing to renew it right now.
To renew the work permit?
Absolutely.
But I already sent one in April.
I'm sorry?
I sent a renewal.
Oh, you sent a renewal. Then if you sent a renewal, then that's fine. Then you don't have to worry about it. You have a receipt notice. So as long as you have a receipt notice, then that receipt notice would indicate that your work authorization is valid for another 180 days past the expiration of the initial one.
Oh, and I can renew my license even if it's expired.
You should be able to, yeah.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to James in Denver. James.
Hi, I just wanted to ask 2 questions. Now, I'm trying to file the adjustment of status, and my wife is my sponsor. But over the years, my wife has been working 1 job. But this year, since February, she's been working 2 jobs. So I want to know, on the I-864 form, there's a column they put current
employment
income.
Right. Yeah.
What am I going to put?
Include both jobs. Correct.
So I should add the both salary?
Yes, absolutely.
It doesn't reflect on the tax return, though.
But it's okay because you're going to have a job letter from both.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay, that's all I want to ask.
All right.
Thank you.
Good luck. All right. So in this braducation, because you always need a braducation, I answer the question, will my application still be valid if my spouse and I are getting a divorce? If your spouse filed for you and you don't have a green card or you don't have a conditional green card, that would generally be the end of the case. You need a valid bona fide marriage. You need to show up to an interview with your spouse in a valid bona fide marriage. Now, if you're ending your relationship and it's because of abuse, either extreme emotional abuse or physical abuse, you can always refile a VAWA application, which is a Violence Against Women's Act application. There could also be violence against the man as well, to adjust your status based on abuse and proving that it was a real marriage. If you already have a 2-year conditional green card and you're going from a 2-year conditional green card to a permanent green card, you ending your marriage and terminating it through divorce is not a problem. You can still prove it's a real marriage, prove your divorce, and get your permanent green card that way. All right, so we're going to get to our social media check-in in about a minute or so, but I just got to remind everybody, if you didn't get your immigration questions answered by me live on the telephone, and you don't get your immigration questions answered by me live in social media check-in or in the speed round, you can always follow me on @RealBradBernstein on Instagram. Drop me a DM. I'll be happy to try to answer your question as best as I can. You could also follow us at Bradshaw Live and get the best munchable, biteable videos, I don't know, whatever they call it, 1-minute videos, the best of Bradshaw Live. And Yonathan, Yo-Yo Elias, and Vanessa, Ness-quick Contreras.
Yes, you guys can follow me at Yonathan Elias TV on all social media platforms.
And you guys can catch me on Instagram at Vanessa.ContrerasTV.
So in today's Spar Bernstein Close-Up, personal injury attorney and partner Moshe Borukh tells us about his family's immigration story and how it influences his practice of law. Let's watch.
Hello everybody, my name is Moshe Borukh, an attorney and partner at the law offices of Spar Bernstein. As an immigrant from the former Soviet Union, I take pride as a personal injury attorney representing other immigrants here in the state of New York. Even as an undocumented person here in the state of New York, your rights are exactly the same as those who are documented citizens. You have absolutely nothing to worry about if you are injured as a result of somebody else's negligence. At Spar and Bernstein, not only do we have personal injury lawyers, but we also have immigration lawyers to protect your immigration status. As an immigrant from the former Soviet Union, I can understand the struggles and consequences of moving from one country to the next, which is why I personally became an attorney to make sure that other people's rights were protected. Coming from the former Soviet Union was very difficult for me and my family. We were persecuted for merely trying to express our religious beliefs. Now, as an attorney, I make sure that my clients do not have to go through that.
All right, let's do something we like to call social media check-in. What do we got, Yo-Yo and Vanessa?
All right, Christina Amflick on YouTube asked, I filed for adjustment of status. Will it be affected due to the August 25th, 2020 new form of the I-765?
If you've already filed it, no, you're okay.
Okay, next one comes from Paulette Bryce Cameron on Facebook. Brad, I applied for my citizenship in August of 2019 and did fingerprints in September 2019, but I have not heard back from U.S.C.I.S. Should I be worried?
No, not yet. There's something called coronavirus, and they had a big shutdown for a while.
Simon Pascal on Facebook asked, if you miss your biometric appointment simply because you didn't receive a notification and then you try to reschedule but you don't hear back, what should you do?
Just take the appointment, go on any Wednesday, and they'll fingerprint you.
Kadena Lewis on Facebook. Good evening, Brad. I got married, came to America in 2018, and received my green card, but my husband moved out. Can that affect my citizenship? And if so, what should I do?
Well, if you got your 10-year card and your husband moved out, then you got to file your citizenship after 5 years of having your card, not 3 if you were still with your husband.
Manny on Facebook asks, I'm a green card holder, but I've been out of the country for more than 6 months and haven't been able to return to the U.S. due to COVID. I've been using Medicaid for many years in the U.S. When I return back to the U.S., will I have any issues at the port of entry?
You may, because of the public charge provisions.
Anta Boom on YouTube. Hi, Uncle Brad. I've been a follower of your show for over a year now. I'm still waiting for my AOS marriage-based interview. It was canceled due to COVID. I would like to pursue my nursing education. Do I have to wait for the green card approval, or is it okay to enroll now?
Go enroll.
Okay, Miss Iqbal on YouTube asks, my wife is a U.S. citizen. She filed for me in October 2019 in Texas 1 month ago. We called U.S.C.I.S. to know about the case. They said it's in Vermont. We transferred, but we didn't get notes. We called again and they said it's still in process. How long will it take to get approved?
I don't know. Magic 8 Ball, will this case be approved by the end of the year? And what kind of case is it? Tell the Magic 8 Ball again.
It is...
Or she doesn't even say what it is.
It didn't even say.
We don't even know what case it is, Magic 8 Ball. Just some
It just said that the wife filed for him.
Who filed for who?
The wife is a U.S. citizen and she filed for Miss Iqbal.
Okay, the wife's a U.S. citizen and filed for Miss Iqbal, wherever Miss Iqbal may be, or Mr. Iqbal. We don't know.
It says Miss Iqbal.
We don't know, Magic 8 Ball. Will this paperwork, whatever it may be, will it be approved by the end of the year? And the Magic 8 Ball says, better not tell you now. Even the Magic 8 Ball doesn't even know what's going on. The Magic 8 Ball has not been very, what is the word? Proficient, not proficient.
Profound.
Profound, maybe? No, that's not the word I'm looking for. But clairvoyant or, future thinking. Not giving very positive advice these days, Magic 8 Ball.
Spark Sabrina on Instagram. Brad, help me understand. Why does the consular at the Jamaican embassy have to require a second AOS?
Because they're being JERKS, and they've been told from the higher ups in the State Department that don't give green cards out to immigrants. Give people a hard time.
All right. Abhi B on YouTube asks, my friend is married to a U.S. citizen, but she's very abusive to him. He got his asylum EAD and filed to family court asking to cancel the marriage. Are there any chances of filing and winning a VAWA case while he's already applied for the asylum in January 2020?
Wait. He's a asylum, or what is he applying for?
So the friend is married to a U.S. citizen, and she's
okay. So he's an annulment. You mean he's filing for?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So the wife has to go in and fight the annulment, and countersue for a divorce and file for a VAWA.
Manan Kumar on Facebook, my I-130 case was approved by NBC on June 30th, 2020. I am waiting for my interview in India, scheduled for August 17th. The embassy has resumed services for H-1B, J, and EB visa. Do you know when they will start immigrant visa interviews?
I do not know, but there are no H-1B visas right now because of the proclamation. So hopefully soon now.
Right. Nina Frederick on YouTube asks, my PD is February 26, 2016, F1, unmarried adult of U.S. citizen, Vermont office. Right now, U.S.C.I.S. processing time is August 5th, 2016, but I have not received WL. What does this mean?
WL? Not received. What would a WL be? A WL. Not received.
Work license? No.
Read the. She has a priority date of 2016. She hasn't got an approval letter.
No.
Was that basically what she's waiting on?
So we're trying to check this out. So yeah, so the priority date was 2016 of February, and she's an unmarried adult.
Right, I understand that. Right.
Okay, so right now the U.S.C.I.S. processing time is August 5th, 2016, but they haven't received
her approval.
WL, so maybe like a letter.
Yeah, I guess her approval letter. If you haven't gotten your approval letter and they're past your in a processing time, you got to contact immigration and see what they say.
Okay, B-Pin Don Wade on Facebook, married to a U.S. citizen in 2012, but I'm living in India as a U.S. citizen.
Denisha Joseph, welcome letter.
Welcome letter. Ooh.
Yeah, but why would what you wouldn't get a welcome letter. You have an I-130 either pending or approved. You got to file an adjustment. So that's why that's why I wasn't even thinking welcome letter.
Right?
All right. So
for the F1.
Yeah, you need an approval for the I-130, and then you need to adjust your status if you're eligible to do so. Go on an interview, and then you would get a welcome letter. You just don't get random welcome letter because you have a pending I-130.
All right.
But thank you, Tanisha. Go ahead, Ness-quick.
That's Squad, man.
Squad is with us.
Back up. Married to a U.S. citizen in 2012, but I'm living in India as a U.S. citizen. Never filed for a green card. What are my possibilities or options to obtain a green card and live a normal life in the U.S.?
Well, your spouse has to file an I-130 for you here stateside, and then go into the U.S. Embassy to get a green card, and your spouse has to tell the U.S. Embassy that you both plan on moving to America.
All right, that's it for now.
All right, so Tuesday night at the Democratic National Convention, the story of Alejandra Juarez's deportation was told through her 11-year-old daughter Estrella in a video letter to Donald Trump. Alejandra came to the United States in 1998. I spoke with her in 2018, right after she had been deported. We listened to Alejandra's story again last week on our show. I had also spoken to her oldest daughter, Pamela, who was 17 at the time, and gave the perspective on what happened to her mom and her family. Let's watch. I had recently spoken with Alejandra Juarez. Although Alejandra's married to a United States Marine, has 2 American-born children, no criminal record. Despite all of this, She was deported to Mexico on August 3rd, 2018, after living in America for more than 20 years. Alejandra spoke to me about her stay in the United States, how her deportation has caused such great pain for herself and her family. After we aired Alejandra's interview, her oldest daughter, 17-year-old Pamela Juarez, wanted to speak with me about her family situation and her point of view on her mother's deportation. She joins me today. Welcome, Pamela. Thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So you are 17 years old. You were born in the United States, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And your mom, Alejandra, she was deported from the United States on August 3rd, 2018. Yes. And when you were born, she was already living in the United States. She was living in the United States for almost 3 years before you were born. So your entire life from birth to 17, you knew your mother as living in your family home until the day she got deported, right?
Yes, that's right.
Having been raised by a mother, having a close-knit family, you lived in the same home with you, your mother, your other sister, your father. How did it feel all of a sudden to have her ripped from you, now living in another country?
It made me feel really sad for a long time. I'm still super sad now because, you know, like everything like you said, she was always there for me and she was always someone I could count on, which I know I can still count on her, but I miss seeing her in person all the time because she's an amazing mom to me.
There's no substitute for having a mother in a household, for having a child have a mother who loves her in the household. And it has to ultimately affect you not only emotionally, psychologically, as you grow older. It's actually a very, very sad situation. When did you first find out that your mom was living in the United States undocumented?
Well, I was around 10 years old at the time when I found out because I always wanted to like travel and go places. And I would always ask my mom all the time, like, Mom, like, I really want to go to Paris. I really want to go here, like all these places in the world. And then she just kept like, she was like, okay, yeah, you can go one day. And then one day she just told me that she'll never be able to go with me because she's been hiding in this country because she's undocumented. That's how she explained it to me at the time when I was 10.
Did you understand when you were 10 years old what undocumented meant?
Yes, I understood what it meant when she explained it to me, but I didn't really get, like, because I was only 10 at the time, so I didn't really get how bad it was. I was just like, oh, okay, as long as she doesn't get caught, then, you know, she'll be okay.
Did you ever feel afraid for her that she was ever going to get caught?
Yes, I was super afraid all the time. As soon as I found out, every time she would be driving and there'd be like a police around us, I would get so worried that they were going to stop her. And then, you know, she would get deported right there.
Now, she was driving with an expired driver's license. Did you know about that?
Yes, I didn't know about that.
Did she ever get pulled over by the police when you were with her?
No.
So was she a stay-at-home mom? Did she work? Tell me about your upbringing.
When I was young, she did have a job. She was working. But when she got pregnant with my sister, she didn't have a job anymore because she wanted to stay and take care of her.
Tell me some of the things you remember your mom did for you.
Well, she would always cook for me. She was always there to give me advice. She always, you know, took me wherever I needed to go. I used to like to play a lot of sports when I was little. She took me to every sport event that I wanted to do, to my friends' houses, you know, to school, everything. She basically did everything for me.
Your dad is from Mexico too, is that correct?
Yes.
But he's a legal citizen.
Yes.
And he was also in the military. Do you know anything about your dad's military service?
I know that he was in the Marines.
And he was honorably discharged. He did his tour of duty in his service to the United States of America. He's a citizen of the United States. When he was in the military, you just lived with your mom and your sister, right? She was basically both mom and dad for that period of time.
At the time my dad was in the Marines, my sister wasn't born yet. But yes, my mom was basically all I had at that time because, you know, my dad was serving for the country.
He's out of the Marines now. What does he do for a living now?
He has his own floor installation business. So he installs floors in people's houses.
Would you describe your house as happy, sad, nervous?
I had a very happy household. To me, I had the best childhood ever because of my mom. Like, I wasn't spoiled, but basically she would just do anything for me. So I was always happy. I didn't worry about anything. Even, you know, until now, I wasn't worried about anything. I had no real problems because my mom just always made things good for me.
Did your mom ever share with you how she came to America?
Well, I know that when she was 17 or 18, that she crossed the border because where she was living in Mexico, it wasn't a good situation for her because her dad died when she was 6. So ever since then, living with her family was just a dangerous situation. So she decided to come here and she crossed the border because her uncle found he knew a way that she would be able to get in. So then that's what she decided to do.
Now, she was ordered deported, but the government never looked to enforce her deportation, partially because she was raising 2 U.S. citizen children, partially because she was married to somebody in the military. And although she had an order of deportation, they were not enforcing it. She had to go every year and meet with an immigration officer who would say, okay, you got another year to stay here. And that happened year after year after year for almost 20 years. Were you ever worried when she went to these hearings that something would happen to her?
At first, I was worried, but then, everyone in her hearings kept saying that she had nothing to worry about because she wasn't a criminal, she didn't have a criminal record, and, my dad served in the Marines. So eventually, I just stopped being worried. I was like, oh, okay, everything's going to be fine. As long as she keeps checking in every year, then she'll be fine. But when Donald Trump became president, that's when I got worried.
So what was it about Donald Trump's presidency or his run for presidency that started to make you worried?
Just because everything that he was saying about how, he was going to make sure that all of the illegal immigrants got out, and that he kept saying horrible things about Mexicans. So that's when I started to get worried. I was like, oh, he's actually going to probably, be the reason my mom gets deported.
What is very sad and ironic and perplexing is that your dad was a big Trump supporter.
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure. I've asked him about it. I don't really get a clear answer. So I think it just might be the fact that, I guess, the other things to improve the economy. I don't know. I don't really care about that personally, because just the fact that he deported my mom, I want nothing to do with him.
Is your life better since Donald Trump? What? So your dad has an extra $10 in his pocket, but you have no mom.
Yeah,
big deal.
Exactly.
Now, your mom got deported after Trump became president. Basically, Trump said, if you're able to be deported and the country where you're from is willing to take you back, we're deporting you. We're not going to give you any more time in America, which is what happened with your mother. Now, after she was deported, I understand that you tried to contact Congressman Darren Soto. He's a Democrat from Florida. What, if anything, has he done to help your mom fight her deportation and come back to America?
Well, there's a private bill that's pending for her, and I know that he just has to get that approved, but he still has the bill pending for her. So that's basically what he's been doing to help my mom, which I really appreciate.
Well, maybe now, because the House of Representatives is Democrat, maybe now that would pass the House, and perhaps there could be a few sympathetic senators, because you only need a couple of Republican senators to be sympathetic, to add that onto a bill. So it's possible now. Your dad wrote a letter to Donald Trump about this, that his wife and the mother of his 2 children got deported. What did he write in the letter to Donald Trump?
Well, he described what was happening to us, and he described, he let him know that he's a Marine and that he was serving in the military. He was just saying about how my mom has no criminal record. Me and my sister are both legal citizens. So that's what he put in the letter, but we never heard anything back.
Your father, was he disappointed he didn't hear back from Trump?
My dad doesn't really show his emotions, but I know he has to have been disappointed, yes.
I assume you're very sad and depressed. Your sister's sad and depressed. What about your dad? Is he depressed about this?
Well, he's always said that, that we have to be strong and be tough, but I know for a fact that he's sad. I know he is, especially because, him and my youngest sister, they're really close, and he loves her a lot. And now we can't see them as much as we would want to. So I know he has to be really sad. And the 2 times that we've gone to go visit Mexico, I would see him tearing up. But, he quickly covers and fixes himself. But I know, he is crying.
What was it like going to Mexico to see your mom?
It was really sad for me because I've never been to Mexico. And I've wanted to go, but I didn't want to go to Mexico because of this reason, because I had to go visit my mom because she's been deported.
What's life been like now in America? Just you and your dad in the house, no mom. Your younger sister has moved to Mexico to be with your mother. What is life like for you now without your younger sister and your mom in the house, living in another country, forced by the government to do it?
It's affected me a lot. I'm super sad all the time. I know I'm probably never going to be the same as I was before my mom had to leave, because me and my mom and my sister, we were all really close. And so now just the fact that I don't get to see her every day when I come home from school, that makes me sad. That'll make me depressed for like the whole day.
You miss them a lot?
Yes, I miss them a lot.
Do you speak to them every day?
Yes, I do. I talk to them every day.
Can you describe how your little sister and your mom are handling this in Mexico? Do you know?
I know my mom is still really sad, which makes me sad because, I mean, I know it's not easy what she's going through, but I wish she wasn't so sad because she's always been such a happy and positive person. But now she's like sad and she tells me how much she misses me and she misses our house in Florida. And my sister is really sad too. Me and my sister don't talk that much anymore. As much as me and my mom talk, because whenever I talk to my sister, she's like mad or she's sad. Sometimes I feel like she's mad at me because, you know, I get to live here.
Sure.
So me and my sister, we've kind of like, I would say we kind of drifted.
And before that, you were very close. It's really sad because she's 9 years old, so she doesn't understand why this is happening. She's angry inside, and she doesn't know who to be angry with. So you have to, as the more mature of the two sisters, you know, kind of give her a little break sometimes and maybe try to explain. You know, I understand where she's coming from. You know, I had this beautiful life in Florida, and I lived with my mother and my father and my sisters, and now it's like now my parents went through a divorce, and they weren't even fighting. They were divorced by the U.S. government, and now we're forced to live in another country.
Yes.
And as a 9-year-old, I can understand that she doesn't understand. How does your dad feel about Trump's policies now? Has he changed his mind?
I don't really see a difference other than I know he's sad about, you know, about them having to leave. The 2 times we've gone to visit Mexico so far, he was also crying when we had to say bye. But then he still continues to support him.
Your dad, he watches Fox News regularly. And on Fox News regularly, they talk about alien invasions, people coming from Mexico to come kill Americans, rape Americans, take Americans' jobs, that they're terrorists and criminals and really, really, really bad people that we don't, as Americans, want to be associated with. And he's talking about your mom, who's by all accounts is a wonderful, loving mother. And your dad still watches this. Can you make heads or tails of all of this?
Well, it's just really disappointing to me because I'm like, this guy, he deported my mom. Which I tell him that, he's like, the government did, but I'm like, that's him. Like,
he's the head of the government. He is the head of the government. Yes. He is the one who sets the policy. Ultimately, he is the one who did deport your mom. So now you're going to be able to vote in 2020. Who are you voting for? It doesn't matter. Anyone but Trump, right? I assume?
Yes.
Have you spoken to the congressman lately about what the status of the bill is for your mom? Has your dad tried to file for your mom? You know, he can file for her as a spouse. It may take a year and a half, and do some waivers to come back to America. Has anybody done that?
I don't believe so. No.
Why not?
I don't think anyone has filed.
Why not? Why not? Sure. That's crazy.
I know. Yeah.
That is absolutely. Your dad can file a visa petition for your mom. She does not have a criminal record. She needs 2 waivers at her interview. 1 waiver to come back after a prior deportation. It's based on hardship to your family. And 1 waiver because she has lived out of status in America for more than 10 years. Also based on hardship to your family. Those waivers, based on everything I know about your family, you guys have extreme and unusual hardship. Now, that doesn't mean she comes back tomorrow, but it's about a 1.5 years to a 2-year process. There's no guarantee that this private bill will ever come through. So when your dad says, well, this is the government, well, you know what? The government has a process to bring your mom back, and it doesn't require a bill. Somebody needs to file for your mom, and it's your dad. And I hope somebody can convince him to do that. I wish you best of luck. I hope your dad listens. I'm happy to talk to him if he wants to talk to me.
Okay.
Okay? Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
So according to the video run at the Democratic National Convention on Tuesday, Alejandra's husband is no longer a Trump supporter. He will not be voting for Donald Trump in 2020. We did speak to the husband about filing for Alejandra. We don't know whether he did it or not up to this point. All right, are we ready for speed round? I am going to answer 9 questions in 50 seconds, or it's going to get very, very hot in here. I hope I don't burn up from an explosion. Somewhere out in the Ethernet, in the clouds, is Yo-Yo and Vanessa's voices.
Here.
There they are. Are you guys ready?
We are.
All right, let's do it.
Can I get my EAD renewed after filing 2 months late?
Yes.
Can you file for a work permit if you're out of status?
You have to file for an adjustment of status and have it based on an adjustment.
Could someone's case that's transferred to immigration court be reversed by U.S.C.I.S?
No.
Are the N-400 interviews on hold?
No.
Will I be having a problem if I have an I-140 approved with a denied 485 at the same time I applied for that 130?
It depends why your adjustment's denied. You're going to have the same problem with the I-130.
Can a U.S. citizen file for his unmarried stepson over the age of 21?
Only if the marriage happened before the stepson was 18.
My husband lost his job and our interview is next month. Will that affect us?
I didn't even hear that question. I was praying. What was it?
Oh,
No. I started praying and I didn't listen to the question. What was the question?
Then my husband lost his job and our interview is next month. Will that affect us?
Yes. And the last one.
And then, yeah, it would have been, is the U.S.C.I.S furlough going to happen after August 31st?
We don't know yet. We'll find out. All right, comments of the day. Comments of the day. What do we got?
All right. Our first comment of the day comes from Elizabeth Francis saying, Monday to Friday, I'm always just waiting to see when Uncle Brad's show pops up. It brings me so much happiness and makes me stress-free. The show takes away my pain.
Wow, that's really great.
Love that.
I love that.
Nice.
Thank you. I'm glad we help. I really
Yeah.
do.
Healers.
Yeah.
Our next comment of the day comes from Abiel Dun Jimo. Hello, Brad. Good to see you again. Always looking forward to the show for more enlightenment on immigration from an expert in immigration law. You are a lawyer of pure excellence when it comes to immigration.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Okay, our third comment of the day comes from Jessica Leamy. Joel Reed saying, I never needed a grapevine to tell me what U.S.C.I.S running out of money was. BS.
Right.
That is very true.
And our last comment of the day comes from Paulette Bryce Cameron saying, I am happy to be watching the best immigration lawyer in the world, Brad with Yo-Yo and Ness-quick.
Thank you very much. All right, great job, Ness-quick. Great job, Yo-Yo. Great job, crew back there. Thanks all for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.